Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brian Mitchell. I'm a chemical engineer and a stock options trader, helping you make more money by showing you how I make money. Now, we always do the same thing every single morning. First, we identify our higher time frame highs and lows. We find imbalances and gaps, and then we trade into or away from those reaction areas. Those reaction areas being these higher time frame highs or lows and these imbalances and gaps that are in the market. So as you can see right here, if I hop on a weekly chart, the previous week high and low are already marked out, which is good. Now I'm going to drop down to a daily and do the same. So let's zoom in and get a little bit more technical with price. We see yesterday's low was here, and we also see prices pretty close to that low in the pre-market. So the likelihood that it gets swept is higher, and we will trade accordingly based on that. Next, we mark out our imbalances and gaps. So I see an imbalance here. All right. Now, in these imbalances are going to act as a magnet for price. So, with the context of being this close to yesterday's low in the pre-market at this orange line here, with this imbalance, it's possible that we're going to see some type of puts trade early this morning. All right. So to refine this a little bit more, let's drop down on smaller time frames. We'll delete this and we'll delete this. Now, some important things to note is that if I go on a 5-minute chart, you'll be able to see this clearly. All of this right here was chop. That's why we see that get swept in the pre-market. This green candle right here is a weak low, giving me more context or more faith that this daily low potentially could get swept. But another thing that we notice that's interesting is that there's a lot of chop up here. Now we do see this chop right here did get swept by this high. Okay. And this is a very strong candle. So we do see that's why we have this rejection here. But if price wants to sweep this low and potentially go higher, we'll be prepared for that. If price wants to come higher, okay, and then go lower, we'll be prepared for that. We're really just going to take our actions based off of where price opens in the pre-market, and then we're going to mark out our lower time frame imbalances and gaps. Let's look at our other stocks real fast. It's 8:13, so we still have some time. I love trading IWM. So let's look at what it's doing right now currently. Like I said, we always want to start marking out our highs and lows. Now let's jump down to a daily, mark out our previous day's high and low. So we have this low here. That's previous day. Boom. And this low here. Let's mark out our gaps. We see a pretty big gap right here. All right, so price has a tendency to come fill that. Okay, so it's kind of looking the same on all of these. And then we also have a trend line of liquidity that should be broken right there. I identified that as chop as well. Let's drop down to a 5-minute to see this more clearly. As you can see, price did tap into this order block here, so it is mitigated. And then because we have this gap right here, we could potentially go down to fill this gap. So if we see some puts opportunities, we're going to take those puts trades. And then later into next week, as we see price come down and start to create chop, potentially for uptrend, we will look for that. So moral of the story is this morning, we're going to be looking for some put setups, and I will give you guys the update in the post market video later today. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you make some money today, and peace.